All right, guys, we are live. It's a good day. It feels better than the previous days this week. All right, so we have CL here. We're ready to go. Let's kick off the intro. All right, welcome everybody. This is episode 41 of Steady Lads. We have special guest Kat. CL207 is here with us. Welcome, CL.
Hello. Well, what was that intro?
Is it?
It's pretty good, right?
That's your first time seeing it? Everyone loves that intro.
Oh shit! Did I just expose myself for having not watched any Steady Lads yet? I'm sorry. Extremely awkward moment.
Exposed, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking backstage. This is CL's introduction to Steady Lads, so no better place than the front row.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not even front row. You're on the stage. So, guys, it's been a wild week. Obviously, we had some very bearish days, but just maybe you can bring a chart up of Bitcoin maybe for this week. So it did look like we were going into a bit of a deeper correction.
Wait, we're 61? My God, we're back.
We're mooning. We're back.
We're
baby.
back.
We're pretty rich now.
We're so free.
So the worst candle, I guess, was two days ago and 3 days ago, where we suddenly went from Hong Kong kind of buying a little bit and getting to 64K. I think we ended the day at 60 or so, and then the next day just puked back down to 57. I think that's when the timeline on Twitter was at its absolute bottom that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I wish Thicky was here to talk about outflows too, but the outflows from the ETFs were pretty large too, which was staggering. I think hundreds of millions of dollars at one point. Yesterday was a lot lower at 60 million, I think, but still pretty significant.
Yeah, there was a little bit of chatter on the back and forth about ETF flows. I think Jim Bianco, macro analyst, had been kind of warning that he thinks a lot of the buyers are paper handlers, and they would like sell as soon as things got bad. And it seems like some people sold, but ultimately in the grand scheme of things, not too bad. And for me, everything changed, I would say, late Wednesday, looking at FOMC. So macro is kind of back into play. The press conference by Powell for me was another illustration of what I've known for a long time. I've been watching this guy for years and years, and in his heart of hearts, I've been saying this forever. He is a dove. He is not going to give into inflation, but the first sign that things are okay, he will take it. And he was pretty clear that when unemployment starts to get worse, they will not, be scared to quickly cut rates. And lo and behold, what happens today? We look at the unemployment number. I think it came at 170, expected around 230, 240. So quite a lot lower, unemployment up. This is not necessarily the sign that they're going to cut right away, but maybe we are not overheating like he's scared of. CL, do you follow any kind of like traditional macro news, or you prefer anime con, or you do both?
Oh yeah, I mean like a lot. So actually, like before I go to Japan, I check the USD JPY pair. So yeah.
Yeah, I recently went to Japan and everything is so cheap, and like the yen is nuking. It's awful. It's not good to be a Japanese citizen right now. It's really bad.
But yeah, otherwise not really. I'm learning a lot from you though.
Let's like look at the market sentiment though. I mean, obviously it was very awful. A lot of it, we'll get into it, kind of came after this points meta seems to have run its course a little bit. The Eigen drop, which was the biggest granddaddy of all, initially, got fudded, let's say. Maybe there was some bad miscommunication from the team there, but we'll kind of look at that. And generally people don't seem to remember, but summers are pretty bad for crypto, right? Like last summers, except for DeFi summer 2021, all the other summers, there's just not that much demand. I guess like even 2021, it was a bad summer as well. So 2020 was the DeFi summer. 2021, it was when we were stuck at 28 to 32K before like 3AC and Alameda decided to kind of start punting it. So I think the sentiment, and I've had chats with some other traders, was that we might be like in a chopping range until August. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I even think last summer, Friend.tech, I mean, I forget when Friend.tech launched, but I think the markets were not doing anything and people wanted to gamble on something. So people were just buying keys, like punting on meme coins. I mean, people are still punting on meme coins. And I think Rollbit was doing real too, where people were just, if Bitcoin's not pumping, then people have to gamble somewhere else. And I guess different metas can emerge from there. Friend.tech launched, we can talk about that. There's also fantasy.top on Blast, which I think is kind of cool. It's like a trading card game. I think in my 2024 predictions, I said, hey, like I think SocialFi can have like a breath of fresh air. Hopefully that's still the case because I want to see more consumer apps, or at least people trying new things. Otherwise, it's kind of get boring.
Yeah, I've seen some interesting perspectives on this too. I'd be curious to hear Jordy and CL and Taiki if you guys think that the summer is the cause for this lull, if the seasonality is just like a coincidence, are we being fooled by randomness, or what's going on here? Personally, I'm of the believer that like it is more just randomness. The summer is not necessarily causing this lull. But I would also point out that like the majors, Bitcoin especially, is only about 20% off its highs, which is really quite standard. And I think a lot of people were actually hopeful that like this little pullback here is the best case scenario for a positive outcome in the future. In some ways, we got ahead of our skis. Bitcoin hit all-time highs before the halving. Meme coins were going crazy. Everything was going crazy. Like if we want a more sustainable run, something longer that breaks us out of this 4-year cycle pattern, I actually think this is sort of what we need. Like it's really didn't seem realistic to me that we could go from 70K up to 150K, 200K, etc. I think personally, this is more on the healthy side. And it also gives us time to breathe, do research, to study, etc. So I'm sort of welcoming it. I'm trying to, appreciate this for what it is. I know we all now have a nostalgia for the bear. I see GMX intern saying last summer was hamster racing. So I think you gotta appreciate that during these periods and drawdowns, there's like fun stuff happening on chain that you can play around with, like Friend.tech that we're going to be talking about.
CL, you've been enjoying life, so I don't think you have a problem with your preference. You were saying backstage was instead of going to Token 2049 and being around crypto, you did this anime con thing instead.
Oh yeah, I did. It's called Overload in New Zealand. Yeah, and since I was here, I went, and Yue sells there. She sells like prints of her art. Yeah.
And are people like everyone is just dressed up in their favorite characters, or is it like a Halloween thing? Or I've never been to these things.
Yeah. It's pretty similar to Halloween, except more. Just anime costumes, or they call them cosplays. And it's maybe a very strong cultural shock if you've never been and then you like go stand in the middle of it for the first time.
Do you wear the cat costume?
Oh,
I do have a hoodie that's similar, but I didn't wear it. Yeah.
Are there a lot of girls, or is it mainly like cartoon dudes?
Oh, come on, there's hella girls there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got some alpha.
Yeah, that's the best alpha. Yeah.
The crypto bros have something to look forward to now.
Yeah, I had a great day there. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I kind of feel like Justin, though. I have been grinding pretty hard and having a little bit of a lull in the market. I caught up on my sleep. I went for some cryo. I got like a cryo chamber going on today, so I don't mind.
Look
a
at
little
your
bit
skin; it's flawless.
Flawless from the cryo. It's freezing, basically. But guys, like seriously, I'm not sure we will go into this lull. So there were a couple things that stood out this week that made me a little bit more optimistic. One, actually, alts did not nuke further, even though Bitcoin took this leg and then another leg. Alts were just kind of like bottom. They were like, we're done. Like, Aptos went from 19 to 9. Maybe it can go to 8.5, like 8. Okay. And you kind of saw a lot of the alts hold up really, really well compared to what was happening on Bitcoin. And it shows, okay, one, they had already kind of found their outer spread. I talked about this a couple shows ago, the inner spread and the outer spread. Maybe I'll just like quickly refresh because I had some friends ask me like to explain exactly what I was saying. The inner spread, like we talked about, is like market makers, and they can only take so much supply in the short term. They're not able, their models will kind of like puke at some point once they have too much. And then you look for the person after that who's actually willing to buy longer term bags. And that's the outer spread. And I think we might have already found the outer spread for a lot of these alts. Ultimately, there is money coming into the system. The dollar is devaluing, it's getting inflated. There are people looking for these assets, and we might not be that far from outer spreads on some of these alts. That notwithstanding, Thicky is probably right that there will be more supply shocks to come, especially on some of these like massive. I think Sui has a big unlock right away. We'll see what happens over the next unlocks, if any of them are going to be bullish. Are you looking at unlocks ever, CL, like bullish, bearish unlocks? Is this a concept that like you think is still relevant?
Yeah, definitely. I don't trade too much alts, so I don't have like this calendar of like, oh, this shit coin's gonna get dumped today now, or like that shit coin tomorrow. Like, but I do kind of like, since I just see decks get flown around, so like I know, yeah, Arbitrum unlocked like a month ago or two months ago, right? And then it's a steady drip for like 3 or 4 years. Cool. So like I'll keep all these information in my head, and roughly, and be like, okay, at some point, if we trade higher and higher, to keep that going, like it's just gonna take like exponential dollars. So yeah, I think these are good info to have generally.
Yeah. Guys, let's talk about the at least a topic in my Telegram chats, and maybe this is not relatable to everyone because not everybody is like very active on Twitter, but for those people who did make a Friend.tech account and have been active on there, today was the day they unveiled V2, I guess, plus distributed the entire point supply. Or can you tell us? I guess all three of I've not made an account, so one of you guys say like
You're
what the hell
coping,
happened?
Jordy.
Wait,
Yeah,
Jordy, you don't have an account?
No, I'm like the only one who hasn't made one, I think.
Boy, I feel like I bought like a Jordy key though. Like, did I get rugged by like a fake Jordy? Fuck, man.
Well, it was Jordy, you made an account on the Mantle version of Friend.tech, right?
There was a fan tech I tried for like a day, but that didn't really go. That was like a very quick little thing. I would say it was me and Andrew Kang that had not made one, and then they managed to convert him like a month ago. So I'm the coper. So tell me, guys.
That's not too late, Jordy.
What?
There's season 2 coming up. Season 2.
Oh, is there?
I'm sure there will be. Yeah.
So how much of the supply is getting distributed today, or is it like 40 million?
I think
All of them.
all of it. Yeah, just all of it.
Yeah,
So
and you can claim 10% of it, like without doing anything. But to unlock the other 90%, I think you need to follow people. You have to join a club. Like, see, I know you were up, or you were up like a couple hours ago trying to do this. Like, what was your experience with Friend.tech? And can you like talk about the mechanics that people have to go through to vest, I guess, their entire airdrop?
Actually, I don't know the exact thing, because when it just came out, I was actually quite early, and then like the first few minutes, it wasn't lagging too bad. So I actually test bought some Friend tokens, unfortunately at like a very high price of like 20 something the dollars, like 25 or something. But I mean, I was just like a tiny bit of money, so I was just like testing, and then like I took that and I LP, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then immediately I'm seeing like, oh, I'm getting some friends rewards from like the trading fees, cool. And then I started a club. I bought into some other people's club, so I kind of did all of that. So like, but apparently I still couldn't claim my airdrop. Apparently there was like some kind of like a delay or like lag in like some like they have to acknowledge you that you did do these actions, and I did, but it was failing to like index it or something. So
these are the actions to get like the remaining 90%.
yeah, I actually did all of it. But afterwards it was fixed, so I claimed it. I sold a little bit more than half of it. Yeah, I think the experience was pretty bad at some point, but you know, I try to be kind of supportive of Racer in public, because I feel like he's already been shit on like way too hard, like everywhere. So yeah, but yeah, the experience was indeed just like horrible. Maybe like after the first few minutes when everyone realized.
I want to support, but like it's horrible.
So I went and played some games, came back, and I was like, oh, okay, this is way better now. Like apparently they pushed something live, and that was better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still having trouble myself here. This is my screen. I know it's mirrored, so it's not easy to see, but I have followed 10 people and I have joined a club, but it's still showing incomplete on my end. So I'm only able to claim about 10% of my coins. Not that I have a ton, but yeah, it's been tough for me to get
apparently
up and
there's
running.
also like a wait after you do it or something. People, at least some people are saying that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I should just stop talking. I don't know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So
maybe we can.
I saw Hasaka there's a tweet, I guess, because everyone's on chain. You can find everyone's thing on chain and you can track
right.
it.
Yeah, I think he sold all of it or something.
He's selling 10K. He got 250K and he's selling in 10K clips. He's just been like getting out. And then I guess Ansem not only has been earning points, but he's also been earning the fees. Maybe there was a tweet. Can you bring up this this tweet comparing how much he's been making on Friend.tech versus Twitter? And you know, I met Ansem for the first time in Dubai, and the guy is like so cool in person. Like he's so, I don't mean it from like a, you know, he's a really cool dude. I mean, he's so nice. He's very chill. He makes fun of himself, right? So he's willing to like laugh at himself, put himself out there, not take himself too seriously. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, he's saying here he made 450K off of this is the trading fee, so this is not even the points, I guess. And then on Twitter, he's only made 20K for 500 million impressions. Holy shit! I didn't realize it was that many.
That is insane.
Yeah, he's
Jordy. Jordy, you're the perfect person to ask for this. So you've got a big following. You haven't joined Friend.tech yet. The points could be worth a lot of money. You can see how much you could make in trading fees. Now that the token is live, are you more inclined to spin up your account, or do you just feel like you missed the boat? It's too late. Don't bother doing it.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like out of touch, but the amount of time that I would have to put in to feel like I'm giving people something worth buying a key for, that time is, you know, if the prize is like after 1 year you got 200K, that I should probably do more like puff chapters or something instead, and I think that the market would appreciate that more than me spending like a year trying to talk on Friend.tech.
It's a very game theory optimal calculation there. Your poker background shows.
Let's show the so you got the right Ansem tweet, but there's someone who quote tweeted, and I just want to like bring it up because it kind of shows the character of somebody. Yeah, so like this girl is like, this is Elon Musk after Ansem's comment about not making enough, and Ansem retweeted this. He's just like playing with like his own like you know, people have been making fun of him, and he just goes with it, and that's the kind of guy that I think he is, given my poker read on him now. So he seems like a cool dude.
I mean, you got to give him
He's-
credit for getting in the arena. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think about all the hate for like the airdrops? Like, Eigenlayer got a lot of hate. I guess Racer got a lot of hate. I guess Racer's been saying weird things, but I feel like this is just an outcome. Like, prices go down, everyone's mad. They want someone to blame, and they just like, hey, like Eigenlayer, you suck. You're a VC chain. Friend.tech, you suck. Racer's been posting weird stuff. Do you think like the hate is justified, or do you think it's like what can these people do? Like they're giving away tokens. Of course, it's not like the perfect way, but it's never. You can never do it.
There's two questions. One, is it justified? And then two, is the points meta over or not? And I see in the chat, there's a comment here asking, I thought Eigenlayer ruined points for everybody. So do you feel that way? Like it does feel like we hit a little bit of a peak where like maybe points are not as sexy as they were. CL, what's your take?
I mean, you really have to like know what you're doing, I guess. Like Hyperliquid was a great cook. Yeah, I would totally die for points again for if there was another season, but maybe not some of the other stuff. Like maybe wouldn't farm Friend.tech again. Maybe like I feel like some stuff it's just like pretty obvious that you're just not gonna win, right? Like I don't have $1 billion. Like why am I competing against like all the whales in like Eigenlayer, right? Like it's just very hard. Yeah.
This I'm just laughing because I don't talk to CL on Telegram very often, but we do like exchange messages, and I feel like at least 60% of the time the message is him saying like, hey man, you got any of those like Hyperliquid points? Can I buy some of your Hyperliquid points?
Yeah, that was a great farm. I wish I farmed it.
Yeah.
So to circle back to is our points dead? Is Eigenlayer justified in their actions? I know it's not in good taste to pull up your own tweet, but I feel compelled to. I took a good bit of flack for this. Personally, my take here is that no matter what Eigenlayer did, they would have received the same amount of hate. I think the mob is always going to be there. You can't please the mob, and it's almost not even worth trying. Personally, that's my opinion. Lido had this awesome tweet saying that when the Eigenlayer tried to correct this, they upped the minimum allocation from 10 Eigen to 110 Eigen, which is about $1,100 at the current futures prices. And he said, the first project to resist the cyberbullying by Sybils will win my eternal respect. I think Sybil was a component here, but I think mainly my take really is just that, like, and Taiki pointed this out too in some of his work, there were 16 billion or so of deposits. There's literally no way to make all of that capital happy, right? Like the deposits were massive. The token was certainly not going to make everybody happy, like especially the smaller individuals that deposited. Like there's just no way you're going to be able to satisfy them with enough tokens that they feel like they were compensated appropriately. But when you actually look at the APR people received, it was like triple digits for putting ETH in. And from my perspective, there's really nothing Eigenlayer could have done. When you give out free money, people are going to feel like they didn't get enough. Some people will feel excluded. I got a very generous airdrop, but I obviously still wish I had more. And that's sort of my take there. I know some of you guys disagree, so would love to do some back and forth there.
Yeah. I think maybe points to give off the impression that you're working toward this like thing and building it up, and like maybe it does like hype up the expectations or build that anticipation for a bit. And unlike I guess like DeFi summer, we kind of all just got like these airdrops out of nowhere. Like one day everyone got like $500 a wallet from Uniswap or something. So I feel like the expectations definitely changed a bit. Yeah.
So I have very strong like disagreement on this, and I kind of warned Justin that I completely disagree. There is a huge range of like good to bad airdrops, and from a game theory perspective, it's pretty clear what what the optimal is, and I've talked about this before, you have to go linear and you have to put a random floor. The reason for the random floor is so that you can't get Sybil attacked, because maybe all the Sybils will like end up below it or above. They have to kind of take a risk. And so that's not necessarily going to work out. But we've seen really bad airdrops, and the community like gets lost forever. We saw like Starkware, like that did not go well. I don't know about forever, but the 8 users, I think like it's like down to 7 now. So let's talk about the Jito airdrop though, because this is
wait.
Yeah.
One quick thing, Jordy. To be clear, Eigenlayer was very much a linear airdrop. They deviated from it in some minor circumstances, but like Eigenlayer was more linear than it wasn't linear. I think they slightly rewarded with like a 10% or so bonus early depositors, but like for the vast majority of people, it was pretty much linear.
Yeah, this is what I'm getting to. Like, Eigenlayer kind of was forced their hand. I don't think they wanted to do linear with a floor, which is what I'm saying is GTO. They were forced to do it because ultimately, like now people, this is the only thing that first doesn't break the economy of the points and the pendle and all that stuff. And I think they were tempted to because, they don't like people trading points. But if you do it, like everyone's going to hate you. So you can't do it because there is a whole economy going. And then you need a floor because the little guy can't get like nothing. And you have to kind of like randomly set the floor. So people are being forced into the GTO. What we saw with Jito that kind of kickstarted the Solana thing, yes, it worked in that case. The reason it worked is because it was like the first one and the Sybils had not come out in force. Once that happened, it changed the meta where, bots were trying to just like split up tokens, and then Celestia kept fucking up, like just kept doing the same thing. And at some point, people picked up and then like, it was getting farmed to death. It was completely non-linear, which I think is a huge mistake. So those worked at the beginning, right? Because nobody had picked up on it. Once they picked up, you have to adjust and the strategy goes to its optimal, which is, linear with a floor. And I think now like EtherFi did a good job. Eigenlayer, like ultimately it's fine. I think they fucked up the communication because one was this non-transferable token part where people are like, what is like, what does it mean? Like, when am I getting, like, what is happening? Secondly, they went really, really aggro on the geo blocking. And, people were posting on Twitter how you can go around it and change your Chrome settings and whatever, but they went harder than even most. And I think they even like miscommunicated on the Pendle DeFi side because they were saying that we're not going to do that now. And people thought it might happen in season 2, but actually they just meant like, we need more time, give us some more time. We're still trying to calculate everything. So I think it was more of a miscommunication issue.
Yeah, so it sounds like we're more in agreement than disagreement. I agree with you that the big miscommunication thing that actually I was bothered by was they geo-blocked people to claim the token, but they didn't geo-block depositors. So you have people that, theoretically could be following and adhering to this geo-block, but they had deposited thousands of ETH hypothetically in, right? And now can't claim. Fortunately, everyone can get around the geo-block. I don't think it's much of a legal facade for their benefit. I don't know why they did such a strict one where you have to sort of go into the console of your browser and block a certain address. But I agree. The communication was terrible. And they also made it seem like they had capped points to Pendle at other platforms at 10%, when really that was just the amount it had naturally landed at. But overall, like when you're handing out billions of dollars, I think it was like or hundreds of millions of dollars of capital, like you're going to make some mistakes. And
not only like, you made a good point before, Justin. So let's look at this comment here. We do literally nothing with your stake while we hold it because nothing works yet. Okay, token time. I mean, I'm not talking about the rest of it, but I'm just gonna put my head up here. They weren't even using it, right? There's no slashing. It's just it's a force of. It's trying to like prove that they have attention and that there's willing people like trusting them with a lot of capital, but they're not necessarily like using it. And so now they have to pay a return on it. And yeah, like, maybe you can do 10, 20%, but like you can't do like a huge return when the capital is not even productive.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add is like when you're restake, this is like a topic around like, is the airdrop farming meta or points meta dead? Like things with Eigenlayer or I guess other L2s where you bridge to an L2 to get points, like that takes no effort, right? So when you're doing something that takes no effort, you can't really expect a crazy airdrop. Whereas for something like, Hyperliquid, which I think, I want to ask Kat about, it's like, okay, like you have to trade, you have to generate fees in order to get points. And because people don't want to do that, then, you can actually keep a bigger percentage, I guess, of the points to yourself. And if the airdrop actually happens, then, it can actually be worth a lot. So Kat, like, I unfortunately didn't farm Hyperliquid enough, but like, what did you see in the project that made you say, okay, like this is worth farming? I'm gonna just trade on leverage, hopefully not get wrecked. What did you see in the fundamentals that made you want to farm this thing aggressively?
Actually, a friend showed me the project when it was like day 0. And when he told me, oh yeah, the project is gonna be like the MM, and they're just gonna eat the risk, I kind of just ignored it because I'm like, bro, this sounds like GMX to me. What, like one smart trader comes in, your exchange is done, right? Like, so, but I did like check it like once every like 2 weeks or something. Just because like I know he started farming it, and I was like I was kind of in like disbelief that he would farm that, just because like he could get wrecked, right? Like one smart trader can come in and get wrecked, even though like they might have to pay like a bit of slippage to get in because it was so illiquid back then. But as weeks went by, a lot of people started using it, and I remember being like genuinely shocked when people started using it, because like I never had the concept in my head that people actually wanted to use the DEX. I just thought they wanted to yeah, like Bybit works, Binance works, like there's
What
not
were they
that
using,
much.
Scale? Like, were they trying to join the vault? Because that was one of the kind of very key innovations, was just like letting people join a pretty good market making vault. Like it was making money.
Oh yeah, he just joined the vault and he told me, look at this guy's background, he's like the smartest quant I know. And I'm like, how is the smartest quant just like making like a kind of like a AMM, but like he's kind of quoting it like more efficiently, but like how? Like I thought but I guess it turns out he's smart and I'm dumb. It's working. He's probably got $1 billion company, and I don't. So yeah, and but yeah, there was a point where like I opened some chat. I'm seeing people saying, I'm leveraged long this shit coin, that shit coin. They took a screenshot. It's Hyperliquid. I'm like confused, and then I'm like, are you using Hyperliquid? And they're like, yeah. And I'm seeing all these people for the first time ever trading, but on Hyperliquid, and I'm like, okay, well, if this so I started farming it. It was quite hard because initially ETH and Bitcoin was illiquid. The maximum size I could do was like 3 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoin. But I just did that in out. I just ate the fees, took a little bit of way less loss than I could, just because I was able to sell it. Usually if I bought, I sold it slightly higher. If I sold, I rebought slightly lower. So I ended up doing almost like $1 billion of volume, I think. And yeah, that was pretty good. It got really competitive after a while, so I stopped. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, Selene like joined the party late. We started like getting most points of every week, but it was so late to the party that I think you might even have more points than the entire firm, CL. So congrats! I heard your per airdrop was pretty epic. We got a decent one too. But so Per is basically Hyperliquid's meme coin extraordinaire. It's their first spot coin on their chain, and so I'm not sure if there's any utility. It did get some points boost for holding it for the last season, but Hyperliquid points are over now, so it's time for the rubber to hit the road, and we kind of see what gets left over once the point ends, because it is possible that people don't care. Like people will just keep using the product. We saw DYDX V3 still get a lot of usage even after all the incentives ended, and I have a feeling that Hyperliquid will do quite well.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation on like this Per token being like the actual token. I have like no information. I got like I literally traded, or I think last year I longed like $50 worth of OP, and I lost like half my money, and I also deposited money into like the HLP vault because it was paying like 100%, and I got like a $2,000 per airdrop. I'm like, holy shit! Like I really wish I farmed this harder, and I cheated this thing at like 7 cents, unfortunately, because I'm a mid curve.
Yeah.
If you can Brad, can you pull up the mid curve? I want to see this in action. Yes. I'm in the middle. Or sorry, Kat, were you saying something?
Oh, not really. I was actually just like, I just opened the Hyperliquid website to see if volume died down, but it actually seems kind of okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem that bad. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of impressed so far, but let's see. Because wait,
yeah,
it's completely over, right? Like there's no point to trade on this other than if you want to, right?
Yeah, I think so. People never know for sure until things happen, and we'll have to wait and see. And I know they have quite an ambitious roadmap on the tech side. I spoke to Jeff a couple days ago, and they are cooking. Like you said, he might be one of the smartest quants I've met, even though I've been in the HFT industry for a while. So looking forward to seeing what they're doing. He has a little bit of a Keone kind of background and style. I would say like those are the two founders that have been in TradFi to crypto from trading and sort of been building these behemoths. So I think both of them are doing something right, and they're both grinding really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds positive for my back. So let's go.
Should we do some Q&A for Kat, because we have
Let's get some Kat Q&A questions. And while we do that, maybe Justin, can you bring up Camino, because we did have a few launches. So Selene obviously is working with a lot of launches, and a lot of them delayed their launch because they started like, oh, we don't want to launch during a puke. Can we just push it a week? So a bunch of like launches have been getting pushed, but some of them just happened, and Camino is one. And I've been trying to tell teams like it's okay to launch during a bad market, because if you're doing an airdrop, people will like, the most mercenary people who don't care are just going to puke it at the low, and you just get rid of them. And then you can have like a nice looking chart. So, I mean, apart from the, that first like hour where it went from 12 cents here to whatever, 3 cents, 4 cents. This is a great looking chart. I mean,
yeah, Jordy, I remember you have this thesis that like a token community has to go through like a pretty bad sell-off to really build the community. Like I remember we've talked about a couple projects.
They have to go through a journey. They have to go through a journey. Sort, yeah.
Yeah. I actually think that like, because sentiment is so bad for airdrops, I think it's actually like a good, or like this is like my framework. I just feel like I'm just gonna hold all my airdrops right now because everyone just hates airdrops, so they're gonna just dump it regardless of price. So I feel like price can dislocate lower than it actually should go. So I might as well like just bag hold, but maybe that's like a mid curve mentality. But that's kind of like how I'm thinking about the market.
I think case by case basis, right? Like you gotta pick and choose.
We're getting some questions in, but still more on the comedic side. Let's give it a sec for more questions to come through. I can start off with a question for you.
These questions are so inappropriate.
Yeah, let me kick off.
You do not want to look at the questions.
Let me kick off with a question while we wait for some more serious ones to come through. So Taiki had actually sent this tweet to our group chat earlier. Ethereum is becoming more of a VC chain than Solana ever was. That's the tweet. And we talked a little bit about this in the pre-show, but I would love to get your thoughts on that, CL. I know there's two ways to look at this. One way is like all of these airdrops on Ethereum are predatory. The VCs are making all the money. Retail's getting strung out. The flip side is, well, all the real legitimate projects are built on ETH. That's why it's the VC chain. Like, where do you stand with that, CL? And I'll let you guys chime in too.
No, I think airdrops are definitely not how VC make money. I mean, we literally do some kind of action. It's usually like, let's be real, very easy compared to like working in real life, right? And then we just get to sell it. And I don't know how that's beneficial to VCs, honestly. So I wouldn't say that's Yeah, definitely not. But I do think Sol have a lot of supply, probably more than ETH, or probably a lot more than ETH. Although I don't have like data for this, like comparing how many people left from the ETH ICO have yet to sell. But I'm pretty sure Sol have way more VCs in terms of Sol token supply. And we can just see that from like who's buying the FTX estate on like sales. It's like a lot of VC and like for funds. I wouldn't say VCs are generally that bad either. It's it is definitely bad in the sense in like how fair the market is, but that's also not because of it's like like anyone's fault. Like the US banned the ICO, so to be like real investor, you gotta be like in suit and tie and like accredited and all that. And then this whole VC thing's born after that, right? So it's like the SEC kind of forced the market into the current like meta, I guess. Yeah, and yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So while you've been going through that, I've started a bunch of questions. So I'm just going to run through them for you, CL. This is like a common one. Every guest always gets asked this, but do you have an exit point? Do you have a price prediction that you can share on this call?
Oh, I think that's hardest usually for me, just because I've never traded in that kind of way to have like specific price levels where I'm out or like I'm in. Usually I try to like take a look at what's going on as price gets here. So yeah, usually trying to be as greedy as possible with my entries and exits. Yeah. Like if we go to if we were at 200K and funding's negative, like I'm not gonna sell, even though I said 200K would be the top, I guess. But that's quite unlikely. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Kat mentioned this on my podcast too, where I think your average holding time is very short, and like you have no idea what's going to happen a month, 2 months from now. So it's better to like just bet on what you know now instead of like trying to predict into the future. Is that kind of how you think of the markets?
Wait, sorry, cut off for a second.
Oh, I was just saying that like I think you don't like to make predictions like too far out in advance because like who the hell knows? So you stick to the shorter time frames, right? And your average holding time is, yeah, a few hours.
Yeah, when I used to trade, it's always been pretty low. But like a few years ago, I did kind of convince myself into long-term like holdings for spot and venture. So I've kind of like just ate through this whole volatility this whole way up. And I feel like I kind of just have to like be completely AFK for myself to be able to hold through that. Like I think I would have panicked sold a bit on the USDC DPEG, not gonna lie. But I didn't because like I was just AFK. So yeah, so some things sometimes it does make holding things a bit easier. Yeah.
Yeah. Touch grass.
Yeah. Yeah, if your plan's long term, like there's no reason you should be like staring at this stuff. Like it's just too much. Yeah.
What other questions did you like, Justin?
Yeah. So what do you think, Kat, what do you think about meme coins being the face of crypto? Do you think they will continue to outperform? And then I'd also like to add, we've talked about this a lot. Are meme coins like value extractive? Are they good for the ecosystem? Do you dabble in them? Are you offended there's no cat coins and just dog coins?
I mean, obviously they're not like value additive for there's nothing it's adding. But like I'm actually quite pro meme coins in general as like a phenomenon. And I'm quite bullish on it just because I think I've stated in an article why I'm just so super bullish on meme coins and fraud happening on the internet, just because the society is like just incentivized in that way, right? Like take for example, you have Ansem. I think he's just like a perfect example. And just like many other people, and it's not like in a bad way, right? But for them to establish like let's say a big position in like an altcoin, something that has like that's like 50 mil market cap, 100 mil market cap, they can like go ahead and buy like 2% of the supply easy, right? So it's like not that hard. But like, how are you gonna get them to show like eigenlayer if you're raising at like 2 bill, or like get them to show monad all the time if they're raising at 3 bill and they can never even take a position that's like even remotely like similar to Paradigm or like whoever else, right? So I think incentivize are just very aligned for everyone who's a finance influencer to talk about things they have, like, I guess more of, which usually is meme coins or meme stocks.
And to clear
But
the air, like once and for all, see how like one, do you or do you not like real cats, like the feline ones? And two, do you like cat coins versus dog coins? Those you have to just clear the FUD just once, just to get it out.
There's so many questions.
oh shit, because no, I don't mind what animal coin they're trading, honestly, and I actually don't like cats extremely. They're
They're competitors.
they're competitors. Yeah, I like women.
Because women like cats. And so, like,
I did not expect that answer.
There's a competition between Yale and the other cats.
Yeah.
I see. And
You guys
there's
understand what's going on here?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
All right, a topic near and dear to my heart, ETH ETF. Let's try to pivot back to the real stuff here, guys. ETH ETF, is it happening?
Look, I don't know anything about legal, but GCR said he's bullish ETH, so I'll be a NPC and just like support GCR's thesis, and I think it gets approved.
Well, this is approved. Let's go. And this is a great segue. Jordy, tell us the GCR targets. I know in the chat you said that he has the same targets as you. Are those targets public? Can we hear them?
I mean, some are public, right? So 10K ETH is preordained, predetermined, it's kind of like, this is like a public target he has. And then on BTC, both him and I expect that we, likely, there's always probabilities, but we should see over 100K this cycle. I don't want to get on like the specific numbers, that's too TMI, but we should, all goes well, be into the six figures. I saw Shkreli actually. Can we get the Shkreli tweet up? This guy's like the new crypto main character. He's like making a new shitcoin again today. But he has a prediction: $1 million by the end of this year. He made a hash. He made an inscription. He has a rationale. He's gonna share with us, I guess, later. This is like Balaji style, but he's going for it. 1 million. I don't know about that. It seems. I don't know what percentage do you guys give it? I would say it's like 5%. I say
that's
5.
way too high. 5% chance of going to 1 million in the next 6 months. That seems crazy.
I think if like a Middle Eastern country just says like, screw it, like we're just gonna like publicly just like blast it, maybe. That's
and there's some people in the chat saying, "Oh, that's not what GCR started." I think Cat means that like at some point, the ETF is going to be approved, and then we'll get the inevitable 10K. I think it's very unlikely we get one in May.
But 10K is like the most preordained target. Everyone's been saying that for years now. So Jordy, does that mean you have to sell at 9,999, 9,800, 9,700, 8,000? Like, well, what does it mean?
No, I think it's fine. I wouldn't think about it as like a wick. I think like it gets there like sustainably. The other thing GCR has been public about, of course, is his belief that Trump is going to become president once again. This right now is not necessarily the front running. It's gone back and forth. I think it's quite a coin toss. It's been flipping back and forth. Maybe Biden is a little bit back in favor. So we'll see. I think if Trump does get elected, then we probably get Gensler kicked out ASAP, and then somebody friendlier for crypto comes in. So that could be a catalyst for ETH to look for in Q4. So we'll wait on that potentially. But let's talk about Shkreli a little bit. CL, do you have any? Is Shkreli like good, bad? I mean, he's been very vocal about multiple things this week. First, he was kind of blasting IONET for not having as many GPUs as they claimed, and he made all these videos trying to use their GPUs. And the CEO has been surprisingly like nice to him, kind of like, oh yeah, you guys are right. Like, you know, we're trying to fix all this stuff, and thank you for pointing out, Martin. You're helping us. Meanwhile, Martin is just blasting this guy. So it's kind of like unclear like what that dynamic is. But Shkreli, I think, is trying to make a competitor to like a GPU coin. Have you been following this, Taiki?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of involved in it because I think last week I uploaded a podcast with someone, and he also went to jail with Shkreli. And then after I uploaded the video, Shkreli was like literally 2 hours after I uploaded the video, Shkreli said, "Oh, like this guy's a scammer." And then, you know, like there was like this whole thing. I took the video down because I don't want to deal with it. And I think, you know, he's like this, like, you know, Shkreli, like whatever you think of him, he's like really smart. He's been riling up all this drama on the timeline between, I guess, like the podcast I did and IONET, and then I think yesterday he announced his like AI coin or something. I know nothing about it, but you know.
Can you find it, Justin? Like, he tweeted about this yesterday. Or today, I think. He has a Solana coin. He put out the he put out the contract address, and he says this coin, Shogoth or Sholoth, whatever, is basically for people to show our overlords, our AI overlords in the future. Here we go, Shogoth. Basically, it's for all the AI doomers to be able to align themselves early on, because it will be on the blockchain that they have aligned themselves by buying this coin and telling their AI overlords that they are already ready for their arrival and ready to bow down and align themselves with them. So Shogoth, probability of doom equals 1. CL, what do you make of this?
Honestly, I'm not very in touch with that person. I don't know him very well too. Yeah.
What do you think of the thesis of this coin to, like, once AI inevitably probability takes over, we want to have a blockchain verifiable, you know, you were already like giving yourself to them, because this coin will be the multi-sig will be transferred to the AI once it's strong enough to take it.
I mean, that's like it's kind of over, right? Like if that happens, like why do you need this coin if that happens?
It's over.
You know, Martin like first came into the crypto scene like really in a popular way when he was covering the SBF trial. He really did an amazing job of that. He went on Laura Shin. I thought that was one of the best podcasts covering the trial, and just hearing his insights about prison has been awesome. And I would really love to get him on Steady Lad. So if you're listening, Martin, please come on the show. Reply to me, please.
It's funny. Yeah, we can try to get him on.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions, or shall we move to pasta?
I think that about covers it. Let's head over to pasta.
All right. Pasta of the week. Justin, you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure, I can. I don't know how I'm going to compete with you guys on this one. I know you guys have some good ones cooking, but it's the inverted rocket ship launching off. We're so used to the rockets going up, but someone vertically flipped the image here, and you can see that the BTC halving has just been an inverse rocket ship. And I really thought this tweet was hilarious. It was cracking me up because the halving happened like a week ago, 2 weeks ago on April 20th, and now we've all forgotten about it. No one's talking about it. It's over. And I thought this one gave me a good chuckle.
Yeah, it was the altcoin happening, right?
It's like I don't hear anyone talking about like the $20 million or $50 million in decreased sell pressure when we're having $600 million outflow days from the ETF. And I know some of you guys were more bullish on the halving. I never really believed in it. I sort of take the Nick Carter approach that this is programmed in. It literally has to have been priced in. I don't know, Kat, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, even if it's not priced in, like, it's not really doing anything to the markets, right? It's not like we're announcing like a $1 trillion buyback or like something. So yeah, I guess even if it's not priced in, it would just like go up, like in the future, right? Yeah.
I saw Sailor saying, I saw
love the
Sailor
chat.
saying, how much
Sorry,
did you get from Eigen?
No. Potatoes, terrible pasta. 2 out of 10.
Oh no. I want to say one last thing though. Michael Saylor, before the halving, tweeted, imagine that a billionaire or like a government announces that they're buying, $60 million of Bitcoin a day for the rest of their lives in perpetuity. That is, to be clear, that is not a fair comparison to the halving. This is not buying pressure. This is just theoretical less sell pressure should the miners decide to sell.
It is equivalent. I don't know why you say that. It is.
How could it be equivalent? The miners they're not always selling. Sometimes they hold their supply.
On average, they're always selling. Like throughout like a month, there's like throughout, as you stretch out time, they are selling that 60 million. So it's not hitting the market. So yes, like you're right in the sense of like there's no one day, like it's like the halving happens and then like the price goes like, whoop, we're up. It's not like that. It's just over time that selling that would have occurred is not there. And I always talk about the supply and demand intersection. It just slowly moves it up. So I think it's a huge deal. It's massive. The billions of avoided sell pressure are going to help. But in favor of my little BTC Maxi, let's get my boy Michael Saylor. There's a little tweet from his he had like a 6-hour talk or something about
this just isn't right, Jordy. You smack me down and then you pull up the Michael Saylor tweet just to rub it in. That's brutal.
let's put this loud. This is he's such a good speaker. Look at this guy.
Going to be approved. And when Ethereum is not going to be approved, sometime this summer, it'll be very clear to everyone that Ethereum is deemed a crypto asset security, not a commodity. After that, you're going to see that Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Ripple, Cardano, everything down the stack is just a crypto asset security unregistered. None of them will ever be wrapped by a spot ETF. None of them will be accepted by Wall Street. None of them will be accepted by mainstream institutional investors as crypto assets.
I see you shaking your head.
This is the
How
one
could you do this
universal
How many shares do you have, Dustin? How many shares are you sitting on?
institutional grade crypto asset in the world.
Jordy, how can you do this to me? You smack me down with your impeccable game theory, and then you drop this Michael Saylor video on me saying that the ETF's never going to happen. It's ridiculous.
It will happen. It will happen. And I think like in 3 years, it'll be like Dave Hoffman from Bankless will be on stage, and he'll be saying, "It's Bitcoin and Ethereum, and everything down. Solana, Cardano. It's never getting an ETF." It's just like the cycle of life.
Hopefully, we get there someday. Hopefully,
we will get there. We will get there.
Yeah.
All right, that was a little bit of a long pasta. Taiki, let's get your pasta.
Okay, mine's a little shorter. If you can pull it up, it's just the shitcoin streets. So a kid launches a coin and pimps out his mom on live stream to pump the coin. Then he rugs it. He's the CTO now. Never in my life have I seen such a beautiful representation of what our industry stands for. I mean, I don't really know the story behind this, but I just thought it was hilarious. Like this guy,
Wow.
He's just trying to monetize his mother, and I don't know what I mean, is that even his mom? I have no idea. Maybe it's like a paid woman or something. But I just thought that was funny. It's just like we saw this last cycle, right? Like this type of activity, and it seems like we're running it back again. So we're still back.
What is more baller? Is it if it is his mom or if he hired an actress to play his mom? Which one makes him more baller?
I mean, the mom would be more baller, right? I mean, it would be like shameful,
No.
but it'd be like more baller.
You guys have all lost your minds. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only sane lad on the show.
Yeah. Would you guys have an OnlyFans daughter or no, I'm kidding.
Only wait, which son? Which son?
Is it Trader's son?
Whatever that son just did. What did he do? He pulled his
guy.
mom on live stream just to rug a coin. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't mind when this stuff happens because it takes it too far and it's like when all the racial slur meme coins were coming out on Solana. It goes too far and it kind of like there's pushback, and it kind of brings us back in. Nobody can say anything bad about somebody who gets rug pulled on something like this. Like, you got rug pulled on this, like on MILF coin, whatever this was. Like, no one's gonna feel bad.
Transparently trash.
Imagine your son making a MILF coin and bringing your mom. That's so bad.
Oh man. All right, I have a pasta as well.
Wait, you went,
pasta.
Jordan. You went. You
Huh?
can't get 2 pastas after doing that.
Which one was my pasta? No, it's not the
Pasta
Sailor
from
one.
Michael Saylor.
No, that's not a pasta. That's just me like shitting on the East. No, that's not. That's not
How
the
could
pasta.
you do that, Jordy? I'm never coming back on this show again. That's it for me. Until the ETH ETF approves, I'm boycotting and sanctioning this podcast.
CL, are you willing to be a weekly co-host?
Hey, come on, guys.
Co-host, this is too much responsibility.
Oh
I
man.
think I'm out.
Okay, we'll get you alternating, because Ticky's alternating. So we gotta get you So my pasta is the pie chart. Here we go. Okay.
Oh, right.
So Mark Weinstein wanted to share his distribution plan for his airdrop, because a lot of they're sharing their airdrop, their Friend.tech airdrop to their friends, right? So with this massive blue part is 1%. And the friends get the little 99%. I mean, we have seen a lot of chart crime, so I think this pasta encapsulates some of the chart crime we've seen.
This one gave me a chuckle, Jordy, because when I claimed my 10% this morning, I had the option to give like 10% to my key holders, 50% or 100%, and I hit 0%.
Automated? It's an automated option that Racer.
Yeah, you just click. It's actually really smart. In the UI, you can just click if you want to automatically distribute it or take it all.
Oh
basically.
wow!
Yeah, it's smart.
Have any of you given out to your followers? Taiki, CL, or I see
I haven't
crickets.
claimed it, so I know that.
Okay.
I know there's a thing.
Okay, sounds like we want to. Somebody in the comments says,
not
only-
me.
Someone in the comments, only fan daughter or pie chart son.
That's a good one.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
All right, well, you double dip, Jordy. I think you lose points for that a little, but we gotta see what Cat has.
Sailor is
No,
not a pasta.
Yeah, that wasn't a pasta. I thought he was gonna say something funny, but he was just saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Mm.
CL, do you have a pasta to share with us?
Yeah, we got this meme, right?
All right, which meme we got? We got a meme.
The Thicky meme to
Yeah,
honor
yeah.
Thicky.
Oh. PvP trader only enjoys trading the PvP. Ooh, market misconception.
Yeah, I think some of the very true ones for
one's
me
your
is
favorite? Yeah.
finding explanation for every 10 bips move. I actually do. So it's as mentally unwell as it may sound. I actually used to do that because it was possible, right? So in 2019 when I was trading, there was kind of like 3 venues that moved the markets. Coinbase was irrelevant. There was BitMEX, the OKX quarterlies futures, and the Huobi quarterlies futures, right? And whenever Bitcoin price moved, it's like 99% of the time one of these 3 exchanges, with BitMEX being like the most like dominant. So I just remember like I actually kind of just like saw every buy and sell hitting the market maker, and then like the market maker like thinning their bids because they got hit by a sell on Huobi, and then like the max bids like thins out, and then like someone buys on max, and then the Huobi bid thickens again. Like just kind of like just watched all of that for just watch that like every day. So yeah, I feel like that's just so true for me. Yeah. Also just like making fun of like bad execution in the order books, for sure. Like anytime someone eats a lot of slippage, and I just paste it into some group chat and I shut on that trader.
Yeah.
I like the Moon Boys getting sterilized.
You know what's hilarious about this? I think Thicky was doing a little bit of a cell phone, because I don't know if you guys are in his trading group chat, And I think like I've heard all of these quotes directly from him. I've literally seen him say like, fellas, what are we doing at these prices? That one got me.
Yeah.
At least he's probably a little bit. Is he 23? He might not be too far
No,
off.
he's like my age.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have had the votes coming in. We'll give like a few more seconds, but
we have the votes now. Oh, I'm gonna vote for myself.
Yeah, you can try. I think you're not going to win anyway. Because you can see what's happening.
Yeah, CL at 38%.
I think CL, you're getting the guest blessing here. You're going to be the pasta of the week winner.
Where are you guys able to pull up the chart? Do you have it up on the second screen?
You owe me some Italian food then.
Cat favoritism.
You have to pull up the YouTube. Yeah, cat favoritism. Here, I'll pull it up 1 sec.
Yeah, let's get a screen share going.
Yeah.
This is some.
Italian food then.
This one. Oh, you see it?
It's like Inception.
What? I finished at the end.
Yeah, Taiki, that pasta was offensive, inappropriate, and no one liked it. I barely eked you out.
You're tied with Justin. You have the same rating, 19%.
Yeah, damn, that kind of hurts. I tied with the inverse rocket ship. I need to work harder. My goodness. And I voted for myself too, so I would have finished last.
Oh my god. Cool. Well, thank you guys for the nice comments in the chats, and congrats to CL, our cat favoritism pasta of the week winner. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Brad, for putting it up. And yeah, Kat, hope now that you watch the show live, maybe you'll watch it again sometime. So I hope to have you again.
One last question for Kat. So, fella, like, what are we doing at these prices?
These prices? Wait, what do we ask? So we bounced pretty hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost at 62 now. Bullish podcast. God.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was trading, I'd probably not take any position here. Yeah.
What is that saying?
I wouldn't enter a position. If I had something, I may keep it or not. Yeah, depends.
Yeah. Most of the time, the right position is no position.
Unless you're holding ETH.
Yeah.
Then it's the wrong position.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Thank you, lads. Thanks for joining us, CL. See you next time. Take care.
Peace.